as we look out onto the ground, and Wispy's hanging onto the chompers.
Where
for
is
a very
Wispy?
long time.
With Chomper Johnson.
Chompers Johnson, but he eventually gets out of the grasp with the former Essendon great.
Down with a real buzz cut, Whispers.
Well, almost a follicle concession. Get Howie to get the interviews. He always does well, of course, in the Geelong rooms, given that he's a Geelong boy. Cats fan. No, Hawks fan.
Hawks fan, Howie.
He likes the Hawks, but lives in Geelong and knows all the boys. Sees half of them out at the breaks. Winking pop. We'll get Howie in there.
You're a winking pop.
McDonald's barista made coffee made with 100% arabica. Let me have another go at it.
Arabica.
Thank you very much.
Arabica.
What did you say?
What did you say?
Arabica.
Arabica. I don't know.
Arabica.
We've had about 19 goes at it. Those sort of
Good
beans,
stuff, though.
I actually stuffed it up and made it hard for everyone.
Let's go to Marcus from Melbourne. Evening to you, Marcus.
Yeah, g'day, boys. I think it's actually arabica beans is what they're called.
Arabica.
Yeah, I used to be a barrister, so I've used them a couple of times before.
What about the I? Arabica, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, you might be right, Gary. I'm not 100% sure.
No, don't take my word for it.
Winding us up here, Marco.
We're just introducing new ways to say a word. I love it.
Arabica.
Willie, well done to you. I thought you competed really nicely tonight. You'll be really disappointed, as Gaz said, an opportunity to pull off a big victory on Friday night footy. Now, you've had a boarder in recent weeks. Robert Murphy staying at your house, and he keeps telling me that you're up to some bizarre stuff. You're cooking Brussels sprouts at 10 o'clock at night, and unusual things happening at your house. Well, what is going on?
Only unusual by the fact that Rob's, there and I'm doing his washing and folding his clothes and the like. But, and then he has the nerve, the very first day he moves out, he calls me up and says he needs me to help me put the fridge back in place. The reason why he was out of house was because his floors were getting polished. But, I mean, he had the nerve to look at me sideways when at 10 o'clock he said he was hungry. And I said, well, I've got some fish in the fridge, I'll cook you some fish. And he looked at me sideways and said, no, I'll have a bowl of muesli. I said, well, who's the weirdo there? Muesli at 10 o'clock for a nice piece of rockling. I don't get what's wrong with him. So
fairly unusual customers together, Robert Murphy and Will Minson.
Nice bit of rockling at 10 o'clock.
Is that fair, is it, on a weeknight, Jazz?
Bit of sweet chilli stuff with it, Big Wilbur?
When you get beautiful produce from Conway's, you don't have to do much to it other than cut it up and put it in a pan. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
You didn't cop one in the throat tonight, did you, Will? He sounds like he's got been on the helium or something. You got the higher pitched voice tonight. What's happening?
I'm clearly not as well attuned to the radio as you, Darcy, with your many years of experience now. You've been able to tune the voice in nicely. I'll do some work on it.
I like that. A nice little backhander for the Jet.
That would be able to head to a jazz bar tonight, Wilbur.
You find him in Bennett's Lane somewhere?
The Melbourne International Jazz Festival is coming up in a couple of weeks. It's going to be pretty exciting, Gaz. Thanks for mentioning it. There's going to be
there,
pretty good stuff. Hiromi Uehara is a little Japanese virtuoso. She's playing at the Recital Centre, and then that's sold out. But Terence Blanchard, who's playing on the 7th at Recital Centre, that's going to be a pretty good gig. A great trumpeter. No doubt I'll see you there front row.
Chief will be there, wouldn't you?
You'd like to think so.
I will.
Vote one the bung.
He's
on fire, Big
all
Will.
over it, Wilbur.
How do you go sidling up to a couple of your teammates? Well, let's be brutally honest. You're working at a cerebral level that's above 99% of them. Is there anyone you can talk to of these list of players I see down here?
Well, if we're all the same, it'd be pretty boring. I think most of them say, how do they sidle up against me?
What about Coon Dog? He'd be sort of...
Coons is great. The smartest thing about Adam is he tries... Everybody seems to think that he's not that cluey, but Adams is one of the smarter blokes going around, and one of his greatest attributes is to get people to think that he's not all that cluey.
He does a really good job of doing that.
What about Shermo, the tank?
The Shermanator, he's a unique character. There's no question about that. The Worm, anyone who's got a number plate, the Worm, it's quite interesting.
And Shawnee Higgins always intrigues us.
The Piglet, it's truffle season soon. He'll be sniffing around all the grapevines soon to see what he can find.
I tell you what, Will, you can leave the Jazz Festival and head to the stand-up and away you go.
No, don't encourage him.
No, he's on fire.
Well done. Thanks
Great
for talking
stuff,
to
Will.
us.
Good to speak to you, Will.
All the best.
Will.
We love, Gary, footballers that give you something.
Character.
Rather than just your standard line and length.
Nice work, Chew Man. How's the... you got your own article, your own blog going still?
Between 12 to 1 every Friday, Das. It's going solid.
Chua, did you buy Mrs Chua 50 Shades of Grey or not?
No, she purchased it herself for Mother's Day, Gary.
And
It's working okay. Even though North lost to Port Adelaide on Saturday, After I
okay.
completed the Essendon Richmond game, there's a couple of small candles lit in the bedroom. I tell no lie.
Sure.
No.
Chew.
What are you just coughing up the secrets of the boudoir?
Working
So I believe
okay.
What's that about, Chief?
there's 3 volumes. Is that correct?
No, I
Yeah,
definitely.
you got a good 3 months ahead of you.
I now have this visual of Chua seeing the candles, and he would have been like the Roadrunner,
You
wouldn't
would have gone off the whole
he?
stuff.
He would have just taken off.
Been a
Wasted a
long
lot of the
time.
wick, I wouldn't have thought.
Been a long time since I've walked into a candlelit bedroom, Duke. A good 20
Hasn't
years,
been required.
I reckon, since I've seen a candle.
Bonaire best on ground time,
Oh,
I believe. Right now,
yes,
Bonaire are
please.
the most efficient
Sure,
heating
yes,
and
it
cooling
is.
units on the
I
market.
think Mrs Duke must have
I
the
think
book
it is.
beside her,
Promise
but I think he needs to get home and
I
home.
need to wind it up tonight, yes.